I know, girl. Every fourth quarter, it's the same thing. It's a wave of these become unrecognizable videos. And here we are approaching 2026, and it's the same thing. I'm going to let you know this is not the typical talk about habits. This is not the typical detox your social media or create boundaries or drink chlorophyll water. Romanticize your mornings, get glass skin, add pops of color to your wardrobe. Is this bad advice? Absolutely not. Obviously, these are things that can help you show up every single day as a different individual. But 2026, we have to go deeper than that. As we get ready to wrap up the 2025 year, I want you to ask yourself this very important question, which is, have I been overly influenced this year? On top of asking yourself, did you get overly influenced this year? I also want you to ask yourself, did that influence reshape your identity without you even noticing? The most underrated step or action plan that you can take to truly become unrecognizable is to de-influence yourself. See, I told you it was not going to just be about habits. Because you see, most of us aren't stuck because we're lazy. Most of us are stuck because we're buried under everyone else's versions of who we should be. And if we don't fix that, we will walk right into Q4 of 2026 staring at the same woman that is currently here in Q4 of 2025. We cannot have that. Now, I feel like it's only fair that we go ahead and clear up a misconception first. If you are watching a beauty influencer to learn how to contour your face, that is not influence. That is you learning how to do a specific skill. Now, if you are watching that same beauty influencer, but this time you're like, well, I want to buy the exact same products that she bought because she said that these were the best in the market. I want to wear the same exact lashes. I want to do my makeup exactly how she does it because she gets a lot of likes and she gets a lot of accolades. That, my dear, is influence. These two things are very different. De-influencing is not about throwing away a skill set. Let's make that very, very clear, okay? Because I am a proud graduate of YouTube University. Every single thing that I've learned about installing a super flat sew-in or doing a quick weave with very minimal leave out or installing a lace front wig, I learned all of that because somebody out there decided to sit down with their camera turned on and they decided to walk through the steps detail by detail in order to show me how to do that. I learned that skill because someone did that. Learning that skill allowed me to make my own side business. When I started creating content in 2021, I started as a wig influencer. And I use air quotes on wig influencer because quite honestly, I don't even like the word influencer. I feel like influencer has so much weight behind that word that I don't think people really understand the weight that it actually holds. I prefer using content creator, but for the scenario, we're going to just say wig influencer. So I started my own side business. I was able to make money from it. I was able to build my initial community from doing that. I mean, it really helped me, like I said, to make my own business. So again, a skill set, that is something knowledgeable. It's something that's transferable. You can create a side business from it. It's something that you can build your confidence with. It can truly change your life. De-influencing yourself in simplest terms means that you are done outsourcing your identity. It means recognizing when you're no longer learning and instead you are beginning to copy or conform. When you're molding yourself into somebody else's version of that woman or being that girl. Honestly, scratch that. We're not girls, we're women. So that woman. Unfortunately, our hunger to grow can sometimes develop into desperation and we become desperate to reach that next greatest potential within ourselves. And we start taking in every piece of information without ever sifting through the information. We start treating all advice like it's good advice just because it's packaged well or said in a confident tone or it looks aesthetically pleasing across the video. Take trends, for example, especially the mindset shifting trends or the glow up trends, the morning routines, the soft life arcs. Can the information truly be transformative? Absolutely. But we seem to lose ourselves when it comes time to developing our own method, our own timelines, or our own identity-centered approach to growth. Between the videos and the self-help books, we kind of let this information dictate who we should become. And we never pause to really ask ourselves, okay, will this transformation still feel like me at the end of it all? Even when packaged well, you still have to stop and ask yourself, okay, is this aligned to where I am in my life? Does this support my personal values? Is this connecting with me on my womanhood journey? Or will I just end up another carbon copy of whatever was written in this book or spoken of on this video. And that goes for this video as well. I don't want you all to just take every single word that I say and just run with it. At the end of the day, we all love feeling inspired, right? We love being able to listen to something and it kind of just restart your engine. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so motivated now. I feel inspired. I feel encouraged to go out there and conquer the world. But the moment you stop customizing the inspiration, the moment you stop filtering it through the identity that you're trying to create, you stop evolving, you start shape-shifting. De-influencing is not anti-influence. It's literally just pro-self, okay? I'm not telling you that you need to go delete every single social media app that you have. I'm not telling you that you need to go mass unfollow all of the favorite content creators and influencers that you have. I'm not telling you that you need to do a disappearing act. Now, if you feel like you need more solitude in your life and you need to disappear off of all of the social media apps, then do that. If you feel like there are people that you're following right now that do not connect and do not align to the woman that you're trying to become in the year of 2026, then maybe you do need to unfollow them. It's simply being more intentional. Being pro-self is saying, okay, I am done with everybody else's voice being louder than my own. I'm tired of family and friends' voice being louder than mine. I'm tired of society's voice being louder than mine. I'm tired of social media and its voice being louder than mine. I am ready to turn up the volume to 100% max on myself. I mean, hello, at the end of the day, it is your own voice that builds your own future. It's your voice that has to do the internal work. It's your voice that has to live with every single decision that you make. If everyone else's voice is louder than your own and you cannot hear yourself clearly, you might as well kiss goodbye any thought of the type of woman that you thought you would be, because she will never come into reality. Getting your true voice to come out and reveal itself. In order to do that, you have to start with, again, being 100% honest about where you are today, the woman you are today, and completely taking out of the equation who you thought you would be by this stage in your life or who you wished you would be in this stage of your life, because obviously that has not happened. Remove all of that and just simply start with, how did I get here today? She's going to give you the most accurate account of what has happened. And know that the goal of this evaluation is not to shame yourself. It's not to blame yourself for that matter either. It's simply to just pinpoint, okay, where the hell did I go left? It's to help you try to pinpoint, if you can, where you muted your own voice. For me, very easy to pinpoint. It started when I started making content. And I know it was that because prior to 2020, I didn't even have social media. I was off of social media, I want to say, for at least 6 years. I know for a lot of you, it won't be that cut and dry. You won't be able to be like, oh, that's exactly where it happened as quickly as I can. But just try to jog your memory, because there was a shift at some point that happened in your life where you began to mute your voice, like slowly, subtly, like just over time, it began to happen. Try to pinpoint what that was. If you are able to identify in your life where that shift took place, now I want you to ask yourself, do you think influence has something to do with it? Because I don't think we realize just how quickly influence can suck our identity away from us. This year, I don't know if you guys saw, I saw a ton of videos about this same topic, but the topic was that there is just no personal style anymore. Quite honestly, this has been an ongoing debate for a while, and I feel like it's just increasing as the years go by, but there is just a lot of commentary on women feeling like there is just no personal style anymore. Everybody's dressing in minimalist fashion. All of the color tones are neutral. Everybody's doing the clean, soft girl, quiet luxury type of aesthetic. But I mean, come on, is it really just a fashion issue? Or is it deeper than that? Maybe a lot of women don't actually prefer minimalist fashion. Maybe they have just relied for so many years on getting inspiration from everybody else that they feel like that's what they're supposed to do in order to look put together. Maybe genuine interest didn't really disappear. Maybe it's just that it's buried under trendy interest. And here's one I can say with 100% confidence. Maybe the problem isn't that women lost style. Maybe the problem is that we're all dressing to please the algorithm. We learned the templates before we learned ourselves. I'm going to say that one more time. We learned the templates before we learned ourselves. This is the beginning of how women begin to lose themselves. It's not all at once. It's actually very slow, very subtly, and we do it all in the name of self-improvement, but it begins to happen. We get absorbed in everyone else's blueprint and completely forget the fact that we have our own. If you don't feel unrecognizable to yourself just yet, and you're still trying to figure out why you can't seem to grow on a faster pace or on a steady, consistent pace, I can guarantee that has something to do with it, because you cannot transform yourself until you pull apart all of the different layers that do not belong to you, that belong to somebody else. We don't lose ourselves because we failed. We also don't lose ourselves because we're weak or inconsistent. I honestly believe as women, we partially begin to lose ourselves because deep down, we're scared to admit how influenced we've become. Who's going out publicly and saying, well, I didn't come up with this style, I came up with it from so-and-so and I copied the whole thing? Who's doing that? Who is making a video to say, I followed every single trend that X, Y, and Z influencer or content creator did, and I followed everything verbatim, every word that they spoke, I copied every single outfit, I did it from head to toe. Who is going out there to admit that they copied everything that they did? Nobody is openly admitting that for the world to see because it's embarrassing. But just because it's not something that you're going to admit to the public, that doesn't mean that you can't admit those things to yourself. Unfortunately, when you aren't strong enough to admit the influence, you will continue down the same rabbit hole. You will continue adopting routines that just simply do not feel natural to you. You will continue to wear the clothes that you don't like. We would rather continue drawing on somebody else's canvas rather than getting a blank canvas and drawing from scratch with our own ideas. It is okay to admit to yourself that you didn't trust yourself, that you didn't trust your instincts, you didn't go with your gut, you went with somebody else's. It's okay to admit that to yourself, because when you can admit it to yourself, at least you can heal and move forward. At the end of the day, we're human. All of us are just trying to find direction. We're trying to find belonging. We're trying to just find an identity that feels safe for us to wear out loud. Becoming truly unrecognizable, please understand, it is so much more than just changing your routine. It's so much more than just getting a new hairstyle. It's more than buying a new wardrobe or reading a new self-help book. Becoming truly unrecognizable, it is about alignment. It's learning to trust your inner voice again. Because here's the thing about it anyway, when you are aligned, the hair, the style, the habits, the routine, they will all begin to shift with you naturally anyway. Now, I'm not here to tell you what to do, okay? Honestly, I'm just here running my mouth and you just decided to click on this video and watch. I don't know, I'm just saying. But if you are trying to get back to total alignment in your life, if you are trying to get to a place where you're trying to trust your voice again, you want to trust your own values again, these are some things that I personally did. Oh my gosh, this powder. Oh, don't cry, don't cry. I just did all this makeup. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Y'all, that powder done went down my throat. Hold on. I ain't got a lick of water in here. But what I was saying was, if you are trying to get back in total alignment, if you are trying to get to a place where you trust your voice, trust your values again, here are some of the things that I did personally in my life to begin de-influencing myself. Again, these are tips that you can do, but if you don't follow them, you don't want to, or you feel like you can take what I said and build on it for yourself, do that. First thing you can do is audit yourself to see exactly what is shaping you right now. Your personality, your taste, your routines. Most of them were built based off of something that you consumed on the daily. Are you watching some of these reality stars and getting overly influenced from them, overly influenced from some of the bigger creators that are out there right now? Do they have a high influence over you when it comes to how you dress or how you behave or how you show up on the daily? But not only that, what about them makes you feel as though they are superior? I don't know. Is it because they're more financially stable? Do you feel like they look better than you? Do you feel like they have more pretty privilege and you wish that you had the same? So you allow the influence to take over? I mean, you really have to kind of ask yourself these questions to get to the root of the problem. I know it's easier said than done, but the more that you begin to audit yourself and the more that you are able to answer these deeper questions for yourself, then you can begin to peel back those layers of all of that influence that has been placed on over the years. So another thing that has helped me is to terminate the committee. And when I say terminate the committee, I am talking about the invisible board of directors that lives in your head that you're always trying to appeal to. Mom's opinions, friends' comments, social media standards, society's rules, a stranger's judgment from 3 years ago that you still allow to live rent-free in your head. Fire them. Fire every last one of them. Absolutely no one gets a vote on your identity except for you. No one gets final approval on who you become. No one gets the power to override your own inner compass. This is the part where you start rebuilding trust in yourself again. I don't know, when you step back and you really think about it, it's kind of terrifying how much weight we put on other people's preferences, like on other people's expectations and other people's projections to shape our own experiences. You cannot afford to walk through life not trusting yourself. You cannot afford to treat your identity like a group project where everybody has an input. I am sorry, but no, I did group projects in high school and I'm done relying on other people for me to get a good grade. I'm gonna get an A all by myself. When you don't trust your instincts, you become moldable. You become directionless. You become whatever the loudest influence was for that day. De-influencing is reclaiming authorship. It's like saying I honor advice, but I don't outsource decisions. I hear opinions, but I don't hand over control. When you finally stop letting the committee dictate your life, you give yourself permission to actually evolve. Evolve into a woman who is self-led, self-trusted, and unrecognizable in the best way. Now, what you could also do is the Pinterest test. And when I say Pinterest test, I mean if Pinterest disappeared today, if trends stopped updating entirely, if no one was there to tell you what the new aesthetically way is to dress or how to decorate your apartment, what would you naturally choose? What colors would you choose to wear just because they feel good on you and not necessarily because they're a trending color? What lifestyle rhythms would you follow because they match your mood and your energy, not because they match the mood board? What version of femininity for you would feel more natural instead of performed? What version of you would emerge without the template? Your real identity only shows up when there is no template to copy, when there is no aesthetic to imitate, when there is no For You page curating your personality. If Pinterest disappeared, if Instagram shut down, if TikTok was non-existent, and if no one saw what you looked like or how you lived, who would you allow yourself to be? And that, girlfriend, is where becoming unrecognizable actually begins. Creating space for quieter moments in my life is also something that has helped me de-influence myself. Influence is very loud, but your voice has to be louder. But here's the paradox. Your voice can only become louder if you create an environment that is quiet enough to actually hear it. Most women aren't lacking intuition. What they're lacking is the silence required for that intuition to come through. Quiet moments are a strategy. They are a lifestyle shift. Honestly, it helps you recalibrate and brings you back to self. Because when you're overstimulated, you become what? You become emotionally reactive. You become mentally foggy. You can become spiritually disconnected and more likely to imitate than originate. Quiet moments allow for that emotional processing. They allow for the mental clarity, the ability to stay present and stop trying to skip to the next season of your life, and the ability to have that self-recognition as well, so that you can say, you know, I don't need to constantly keep running from the person that I am. I need to deal with who I am. I need to deal with the past trauma. I need to deal with the unresolved issues and allow myself to be in this quiet moment so that I can heal from it all. So the simple tasks like walking without headphones on or driving without music, being able to sit stationary without having the need to scroll on your phone, all of those are very helpful things. But let's go deeper than that. Let's create more moments of silence throughout our entire day, every single day. Staying phone free in the morning. It is the simplest thing that you can do, but it is going to create the most impact in your day. You are giving your mind the ability to speak first before everybody else's thoughts and opinions fill your mental space. Midday, try to take 2 to 3 breaks. Even if it's just 5 minutes, take 2 to 3 breaks where you can get up, walk, stretch, just step away from the computer, step away from the phone, do some deep breathing. I promise you, your nervous system will thank you by the end of the day. In the evening time, yes, you can journal, but do you also know what you could do? You could also just lay in the bed. You could just lay there in the dark or turn on the lamp. I don't care, however you want to do it, but just lay across the bed. Let your mind sort thoughts out for itself. Let it be calm. Let it just be in the moment without having to move here, do this, check this email, check this homework. Just stop. Just sometimes stopping is enough. One final thing that I have done that has actually helped me de-influence. I want you to take it back to kindergarten, okay? Be a leader, not a follower. Now, of course, as we get into our adult years, we can't remember every single thing that we learned in elementary school, but I can guarantee that at some point in elementary school, each of us remember being told to be a leader and not a follower. Back then, it sounded simple. In adulthood, that's a whole identity check. Being a leader in your own life means trusting your own moves, even when they don't look like everybody else's. It means genuinely choosing what aligns instead of what just looks good online. It means choosing to give yourself permission to evolve on your own timeline, not the internet's timeline. It means letting curiosity guide you rather than comparison suffocating you. Being a leader in your own life does not mean that you're just rebelling on purpose. It just means that you're choosing to be rooted enough in who you are. Being so rooted in who you are that no trend, no opinion, or outside voice could pull you off of the path that you are on in your life. Influence the world so you can finally re-influence yourself. Okay, girlfriend, I need you to unfollow the noise. I need you to unmute your voice. And I guarantee the woman that appears in your life, you won't even see her coming. You won't be able to anticipate this woman that shows up in your life. I can guarantee you that. And on that note, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you come back and tune in. Until next time, my loves, okay? Bye.